You earn a good salary. You're doing everything you're supposed to.
So why does the Federal Reserve say the median person your age has a net worth of just $135,300? That's barely enough to cover 3 years of living costs.
The reason isn't your income. It's 3 hidden habits. And today, I'm giving you the triple lock system to fix them. Let's break down the first hidden habit that's keeping you from building wealth. Income complacency.
This is the silent assumption that once you reach a certain salary, you've made it, and the wealth building part will just sort of happen. But the reality is, your paycheck is a starting line, not a finish line.
The single biggest threat at this stage is a phenomenon called lifestyle creep.
It's the default outcome for any unallocated money in your budget.
It's not about making one big foolish purchase. It's about 1,000 tiny, unconscious upgrades that happen over time. A slightly nicer coffee, a few more streaming subscriptions, eating out 1 extra night a week. Each decision feels insignificant, but together they form an invisible drain on your financial future, ensuring your savings rate stays stagnant no matter how much more you earn. Think of it this way. Your lifestyle will always expand to meet your income, unless you give that money a specific job first. Without a system, every dollar you don't intentionally direct towards your goals will be absorbed by the gravity of your current lifestyle. It's human nature. The problem is that this natural tendency is actively costing you money in today's economy. To make this concrete, let's look at the numbers. According to the latest data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics for November 2024, the Consumer Price Index, or inflation, is running at 3.1%. That means if your income stayed flat this year, you effectively got a 3.1% pay cut. Your money buys less gasoline, less food, and less housing than it did last year. Guaranteed.
So, income complacency isn't just treading water, it's actively going backward financially.
Your purchasing power is eroding every single day.
This is why a system that proactively fights against lifestyle creep isn't just a nice-to-have for ambitious savers. It's a fundamental requirement for anyone who wants to maintain, let alone grow, their financial standing. The default path is a slow decline, and the only way to counteract it is with intentional, decisive action. The only reliable antidote to lifestyle creep is a principle called pay yourself first. But not as a vague idea. It has to be implemented through automation. This means you decide on a savings amount, and that money is automatically transferred from your checking account to your investment accounts the day you get paid, before you even have a chance to see it, let alone spend it. It becomes an invisible, non-negotiable expense, just like your rent or your mortgage. This simple act of automation is the single most powerful defense against lifestyle creep, because it removes the 2 things that sabotage our best intentions: willpower and daily decision-making. Let's make this real with an example. Meet Alex. Alex is 35, a senior marketing manager in Austin, Texas, earning a solid salary of $75,000 a year. After taxes, their take-home pay is about $4,688 a month. Their fixed expenses for rent, utilities, and car payments come to $3,500 a month. This leaves about $1,188 for everything else, including savings and paying down a $25,000 student loan. Alex has a clear goal: to reach a $250,000 net worth by the time they turn 40. Now, Alex did well at work and earned a $5,000 annual raise. That's fantastic news. After taxes, this translates to about an extra $312 in their pocket each month. Alex felt a little richer, a little more comfortable. But what actually happened to that money? Without a system in place, it just vanished. A few more lunches delivered to the office, a new premium subscription to a streaming service, upgrading to the better brand at the grocery store, a couple of extra happy hours with friends. Unconsciously, their spending on these small discretionary items increased by about $400 a month. The entire $312 raise was completely nullified by lifestyle creep, and they even started dipping into their original savings buffer. This is the trap of income complacency. The raise felt like extra cash instead of investment fuel. So, what's the fix? The first step is a mindset shift. Acknowledge that a raise isn't bonus spending money. It's an opportunity to accelerate your financial goals. The second and most critical step is to automate. Alex decided to immediately set up an automatic transfer for 50% of every future raise. In this case, that's $156 per month that, on the day after payday, moves directly from their checking account to an investment account. They never even see it. The third step is to treat this transfer as a fixed, non-negotiable expense, just like rent. It's no longer an option. The outcome? Alex now captures $1,872 per year that was previously disappearing into thin air. This single automation puts them back on track for their goal without requiring a single ounce of daily willpower. It's a system that works in the background, protecting them from their own worst instincts. Comment "automate" below if you've ever watched a raise just disappear. Now for the second habit, which the data shows is even more destructive. So you've automated your savings. You've beaten lifestyle creep. But the second habit can wipe out all those gains and more. It's called fear-based tinkering, and a massive 30-year study proves it exists, and the numbers are staggering. This habit is the constant urge to do something with your investments, especially when the market gets volatile. It's driven by anxiety, financial news headlines, and the cultural noise from friends talking about crypto gains or trying to time the market. This tinkering leads to the cardinal sin of investing: buying high out of FOMO and selling low out of panic. The cost of this behavior is so well documented it has a name: the behavior gap. It's the difference between how the stock market performs and how the average investor actually performs. For 30 years, a company called Dalbar has published their quantitative analysis of investor behavior report, and the 2024 results are, as always, sobering. The study shows that over the last 30 years, the S&P 500 has returned an average of 9.62% per year. The average equity investor, however, earned only 6.81%. That's a gap of 2.81% per year, every year, for 3 decades. That 2.81% might not sound like a huge number, but over a lifetime of investing, it is catastrophic. Let's quantify the cost. Imagine you invest $100,000 and let it grow for 30 years. If you earned the market return of 9.62%, your initial investment would grow to over $1.5 million. But if you were the average investor succumbing to fear-based tinkering and earning only 6.81%, that same $100,000 would only grow to about $725,000. That is a difference of over $750,000. That's the cost of the behavior gap. It's the price you pay for letting your emotions drive your investment decisions. The single biggest driver of this gap is the feeling that you need to be actively managing your money, reacting to every piece of news. But great investing is counterintuitive. It's not about action. It's about inaction. Let's stop talking about percentages and use an analogy. Investing is like baking a cake. You do the work up front. You gather the right ingredients, your investment choices. Mix them in the right proportions, your allocation. And put the cake in the oven, your automated investment. What is the one rule everyone knows about baking a cake? Don't keep opening the oven door. Every time you open it to check, you let the heat out, and the cake collapses. Your investment portfolio is the cake. The stock market is the oven. Every time you log into your brokerage account to check on things because of a scary headline, you are opening the oven door. You're exposing your long-term plan to short-term emotional heat. This almost always leads to a bad outcome because you're tempted to pull the cake out before it's done, locking in a half-baked result. Let's go back to Alex. Alex has a $50,000 401k and has successfully automated their savings, but they get anxious watching financial news and feel the pressure from friends who are constantly talking about the next big stock or timing the market perfectly. During a market dip last year, the headlines were screaming about a recession. Alex panicked. Feeling the need to do something to protect their money, they sold 20% of their portfolio, about $10,000, and moved it to cash, telling themselves they would get back in until things settled down. Of course, the market recovered sharply the very next month. But Alex hesitated, waiting for a better entry point that never came. They missed the powerful rebound, effectively locking in their loss and missing the subsequent gain. This single emotional decision cost them thousands of dollars and set their goal back by over a year. And a famous study from Bank of America found that if you missed just the 10 best days in the stock market each decade, your total returns were cut by more than half. And the crucial part? Those best days almost always come right after the worst days. The exact moment fear-based tinkering tells you to run for the hills. We've diagnosed the two problems: income complacency and fear-based tinkering. Now, let's install the operating system that fixes them both. Here is the triple lock system, step by step. This isn't a collection of tips. It's a unified framework designed to protect you from your own worst instincts and put your wealth building on autopilot. It consists of 3 distinct locks that work together to create a robust, hands-off, and stress-free system. The first lock is the foundation of everything. Lock 1. The automation lock. This directly solves the problem of income complacency and lifestyle creep. The rule is simple. Your money moves to your investment accounts on payday without you ever touching it. You decide once how much you want to invest. You set up a recurring transfer with your bank or brokerage, and you're done. This single action transforms saving and investing from something that requires daily discipline into a passive background utility like electricity or water. It ensures that your future goals are funded before your present lifestyle has a chance to consume your income. It is the purest form of paying yourself first. By automating, you are pre-committing to your future self, making your financial goals a mathematical certainty rather than a hopeful wish. That was Lock 1, automation. Now for Lock 2, allocation, where we tell our automated money exactly where to go. This lock is designed to solve the problem of chaos and indecision. An allocation lock means your automated funds are pre-assigned to to specific accounts based on a plan you create in a moment of calm, rational thought. You're not deciding where money goes each month. The system already knows. This removes the guesswork and the temptation to chase hot trends. For most people, this allocation involves a few key accounts. The Internal Revenue Service, or IRA, gives you powerful, tax-advantaged containers for this lock. For 2024, you can put up to $23,000 in your 401k and another $7,000 in a Roth IRA. Our system will fill these for you automatically. These accounts offer significant tax breaks that can supercharge your growth over time. You might allocate 70% of your automated savings to max out these accounts first. The rest could go into a taxable brokerage account, invested in low-cost index funds. But a crucial part of your allocation isn't about growth. It's about stability. This is your emergency fund, and it needs its own place to live. Even your safe money needs to work for you. As of late 2024, high-yield savings accounts, or HYSAs, from banks like Ally Bank are paying over 4.5% APY. This is according to data from sites like Bankrate and NerdWallet. A rate like that helps your emergency fund beat the 3.1% inflation rate we talked about earlier, meaning your safety net is actually growing in value instead of shrinking. Your allocation plan is your financial blueprint. You write it down once, you implement it with your automated transfers, and you don't deviate. This brings us to the final and perhaps most psychologically important lock. Lock 3. The access lock. This lock is the direct antidote to fear-based tinkering. The goal here is to intentionally make it harder for you to meddle with your long-term investments. In a world of frictionless apps and instant access, you need to deliberately create friction to protect your portfolio from your own emotional reactions. How do you do this? First, delete the brokerage and investing apps from your phone's home screen. Maybe even delete them from your phone entirely. You don't need to see the daily fluctuations of your net worth. It is not a video game score. It is a long-term project. Second, you replace daily check-ins with a scheduled quarterly review. You set one calendar appointment every 3 months to look at your statements, check your progress, and make sure your allocation is still on track. That's it. This turns investing from a source of daily anxiety into a boring, predictable, and successful process. Let's see how Alex implements the complete triple lock system. Having identified the 2 bad habits, Alex is ready for a unified solution. First, the automation lock. Alex sets up a recurring transfer for $1,500 per month. This transfer is scheduled to go from their checking account to their brokerage account on the 2nd of the month, the day after their main paycheck hits. Second, the allocation lock. Alex has a clear plan for that $1,500. The system automatically invests it this way. $583 goes directly into a Roth IRA. This is calculated to perfectly max out the $7,000 annual contribution limit set by the IRS. Another $500 goes into their 401k to get their full employer match. The remaining $417 goes into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund in a taxable brokerage account. Meanwhile, their 6-month emergency fund is sitting safely in a high-yield savings account earning 4.5% APY. The decisions are already made. Third, the access lock. Alex deletes the brokerage app from their phone and sets a single calendar reminder on the 1st of each quarter titled Financial Review. This is the only time they are permitted to log in and analyze their portfolio. The outcome? Alex now invests $18,000 per year systematically and and without stress. Decision fatigue is eliminated. The temptation to panic sell during market dips is gone. They now have a clear, automated, and protected path to their $250,000 net worth goal. Which of these 3 locks is your biggest aha moment? Automation, allocation, or access? Tell me in the comments. Let's quickly recap the entire system. We identified 2 hidden habits that are silently destroying your ability to build wealth, even on a good salary. The first habit is income complacency. This is where your spending rises to meet your income, and it's supercharged by inflation. You fix it by automating your savings before lifestyle creep does, making your future goals a non-negotiable expense. The second habit is fear-based tinkering. This is letting your emotions cause you to buy and sell at the worst possible times. A mistake that the research from Dalbar proves costs the average investor nearly 3% in returns every single year. You fix it by staying invested and making it harder to react to short-term market noise. The solution to both is the triple lock system. Lock 1, automate, makes saving effortless. Lock 2, allocate, gives every dollar a pre-assigned job. And Lock 3, access limit, protects you from your own emotional mistakes. This is the framework that defeats both habits for good. Building this system doesn't have to be overwhelming. Here are 3 simple steps you can take to get started. Your immediate action step for this week: open a high-yield savings account. Go to a site like Bankrate. Compare the top accounts and apply. It takes less than 10 minutes online and will immediately put your cash to work, earning a competitive interest rate. Your short-term action step for this month: set up your first automatic transfer to an investment account. You don't have to start with a huge amount. Start with just $50. The goal here is not the amount. It's about building the habit and proving to yourself that the system works. Get that first automated transfer on the books. And your long-term action step for this quarter: sit down for 30 minutes and write down your allocation plan. How much to your 401k, your IRA, your emergency fund? Once it's written down, take the final step and delete the brokerage app from your phone. Commit to the quarterly check-in schedule. If this system provided real clarity and gave you a tangible plan, I'd ask you to subscribe and hit the bell for more data-backed financial strategies designed to give you real results. And finally, think of one person in your life who you know is working hard but isn't seeing the financial results they deserve. Please share this video with them. A clear system can be the one thing that changes their entire financial future. This content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. All data cited is from public sources, including the Federal Reserve, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, Dalbar, the IRS, and Bankrate as of December 2024. Please consult a licensed professional for advice specific to your situation.